on my thing. Mommy's on my thing.
business because you have multiple candidates, multiple states, tons of media markets. It's hectic, but you got to get everything right.
We have to make sure our money gets to where it needs to be on time so our candidates' ads air appropriately and you have money coming in and out basically simultaneously, and be able to have accounting like that and a centralized hub like QuickBooks was, a significant deal for us.
The dashboard is super intuitive. It's the easiest I've ever seen and the easiest I've ever had to use. I'm able to enter the payments faster than I would if I was writing checks.
Television, radio, digital, everything combined. Placed tens of millions of dollars of advertising last election cycle and used Pay Clearly to help us do that.
The biggest difference now is what we're doing is more automated. It saved a lot of time, money, and frankly allowed us to do what we're good at.
Good evening, everybody. My name is John Jameson. Thank you. I will not be singing, I assure you, I promise. My name is John Jameson, and I am happy to be here with our company, Pay Clearly. We had an opportunity to come up and speak about our company this evening, but I thought, what speaks louder than anything? The voice of our customers. So we had an opportunity to see that. So we appreciate that. Tonight, I just want to say a few thank yous. First and foremost, I want to thank Elena Joyce. Elena, where are you? Right here. Elena, please, let's hear for Elena. Elena has worked tirelessly over the last few months to put on this show. Her staff is exceptional, with Becky, Jen, Sam, Angela, and Sam have been out there always asking what else they can do, how more they can help. So all of this is a direct result of Elena and her team. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. I want to congratulate all the winners this evening with all the hard work, the innovation, the creativity you had over the last cycle. It will pay off this evening, so hats off, congratulations for all those who win, all those who are nominated. Furthermore, the one other thing I want to say is thank you to our customers. We are blessed to have 14 of our customers here. I want to thank you all for taking a chance with us, a brand new company, to roll the dice and go out here. We owe all of our success to you, so the two most important words we can say are thank you. And I'm going to close it on one simple story. I watched a movie before I came here from about 20 years ago, Jerry Maguire. And no, I'm not going to say show me the money, I promise you. But there was a quote in that, and it said, "The things we think but do not say." And it really resonated with me because there's so many people here who are friends, who are customers, who are mentors. So the things that I really will say tonight are thank you. I really appreciate all the help and the guidance and the belief that you've given in us and the chances that you've taken in us. So thank you. Thank you to everyone. Have a great evening tonight. Appreciate it. Good night.
Thank you, John. Pay Clearly's support as the presenting sponsor of the 2019 Poly Awards and Conference has made this an unforgettable event in celebration of our 50th anniversary. If I could just encourage you to be quiet for a few moments here. I know we've got a lot of friends here, and it's great having a chance to talk with them, but one of the reasons we're here tonight is to recognize and celebrate some of the best work that's been done in our profession, and I really want to make sure that we're honoring all of those people. Having said that, please be aware that if you run out of wine at your table, your servers can provide more for you. Okay? Let me just begin by asking you a question. What do you think of the conference so far? I want to I want to just take a moment and thank a few people. John already recognized our incredible professional staff at AAPC, and I would just redouble his comments. I also want to recognize and thank the pioneers, the founders, the past presidents of our association who have gathered here, kind of a once-in-a-lifetime event to celebrate our 50th anniversary. Just a quick round of applause for all of them. I know you've had a chance to meet them. I also want to thank our board of directors who are sitting up here, and without them, none of this would be happening. They have been absolutely incredible, and I deeply appreciate everything they've done. Also, not had a chance so far to recognize our host committee, and we really don't have time to thank all of them because it's been a real group exercise, but I specifically want to call out the co-chairs, Jamie Sexton, Kelly Gibson, Tim Rosales, and Beth Miller. Thank you. One last comment, just a general comment about the Polly Awards. You know, we made a decision a few years back that we didn't want to compete with others who are giving out awards based on price or the chances of winning. What we wanted to do is preserve the integrity of this award. It is the most difficult to win recognition in our industry. This year, less than 1% of the 2,330 entries will receive a Gold Polly Award. It means something when you are honored with a Polly. Tonight, we honor the work of firms and individuals who have truly made a difference. But before we get to this year's winners, I'd like to take a moment to recognize some of the members of our political consulting family who we have lost in the last few years, but whose contributions live on. Next up, the Campaign Excellence Awards honors the professionals who overcame the odds, set a new standard of practice, or whose victory was otherwise not assured without them. Here to acknowledge our first honoree is the co-chair of the Campaign Excellence Award Committee and my fellow board member, Jim Innocenzi.
Won't back down. Okay. So this election cycle, the AACC Board of Directors had a bipartisan vote of the best who won't back down. You know, the people we're going to give awards tonight, well, in the words of Tom Petty, they know there's no easy way out, okay? And when the political world keeps dragging them down, they just don't back down. In their minds, they know what's right. They won't let the world push them around. They won't back down. You know, our first award winner is just that type of person. His digital strategy was essential to winning 3 races for the Republican Party against the blue tide. You know, in a year when Beto O'Rourke was live streaming his dentist visit and AOC danced her way onto the national scene. This cat, he drove digital strategy for not just one Senate race, but 2 Senate races that overcame the national tide. 2 successful races, Rick Scott in Florida and Josh Hawley in Missouri. On top of that, he got only one of two Republicans to win a House race to knock off a Democrat incumbent in Pete Stauber in Minnesota. You know, his digital strategy and integrated strategy was just not paid digital, but also they did everything with all the campaign activities, making the dollars stretch farther. And if you have ever worked in a race where you're a challenger, you need all the money you need. So, on a personal note, this person, well, he learned from the best because he was a student of mine in the campaign management class, and clearly didn't pay any attention because a lot of my other students are, in witness protection. But seriously, I'm proud to welcome this year's Digital Strategist of the Award, Brian Lau. Brian?
Thank you very much, Jim. Appreciate it. I appreciate the AAPC for this award. I know there's a lot of competition, especially on the right side of the aisle, and so I'm truly honored to get this award tonight. I got a lot of people to thank. I know I don't have much time, so I'll go through them quickly. The team at OnMessage and National Media is one of the best digital teams that I've worked with over my 20 years in digital. Some of them are here tonight. Jessica Carter is here, so thank you very much. It's very helpful to have a great team behind you. We had some of the best clients. Senator Rick Scott, Senator Josh Hawley, Congressman Pete Stauber. They're campaign managers that we worked with, some of the best. Jackie's here tonight. Jackie, thanks for all your help with everything, letting digital flourish on the Rick Scott campaign. Kyle Plotkin and Sandy Finch as well, great campaign managers. I do have to thank the team on Message. Brad Todd has been a mentor to me for 20 years. Thank you so much, Brad. Guy Harrison, thanks for your leadership. Kurt, thanks for letting digital be a thing at your firm. Appreciate it. Probably against your better judgment. Wes, the best pollster I know. And then Robin Roberts, thanks for all your wisdom this past cycle. I really appreciate it. Last two people to thank: my wife, who's got an equally demanding job and gets home to take care of the kids so I can stay late and work on these campaigns. So thank you. But probably the most important person I got to thank for this award is a great colleague, Joanna Burgos. I think she's probably related to Superwoman. I mean, she's always dealing with family, the travel. Thank you so much for everything you do and helping out with this. And thank y'all. Have a good night.
How y'all doing? All right. Remember, there's no whining in Napa. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not give me money before my fundraising deadline at midnight, your wine will sour. A plague of spiders will enter your hotel rooms. A meteor will land on your head, and without question, your favorite candidate will surely find themselves in ruins once the report comes out. While this tactic might work well for a few of you as you burn your lists to ashes, our next award recipient helped to rewrite the online fundraising playbook. Her leadership of the digital strategy took a relatively unknown congressman with a talent for eloquent communications and punk rock and drove him into national stardom, raising $50 million in the process. Her strategy, a digital-first campaign that puts substance over bullshit deadlines, nearly elevated Beto over Ted Cruz in freaking Texas. And in the process, she redefined what both digital campaigns can do and what they should do. However, she got that lightning in a bottle. She's now doing it again with Kamala Harris. She is the model for the rest of us digital consultants, and we should all be paying very close attention because AAPC's Campaign Excellence Award for Fundraiser of the Year goes to Shelby Cole.
Wow, hi, this is terrifying. Okay, so I'll just start by saying that to be a digital person accepting an award about fundraising is insane. It's just show of what's to come, I think, probably. So it was, I'll just say, it was the honor of a lifetime to have worked on this campaign as someone who grew up in the state of Texas. To tell a different story about the state of Texas was really incredible. I will never forget this for as long as I live. I just want to thank my coworkers at all of the firms we had a couple of firms during the campaign, and a couple of people traveled with me across the firms. Liz Bennett, who was our ads genius. There was no email fundraising without a good ads person, so props to her. And Camillo, our lead designer. This was an incredible honor, so thank you all for being here.
Woo! Hello. Tonight's winner was the mastermind behind a complex strategy and won despite being outspent 3-1, the largest ballot initiative in Southern California history. Here's the story. After the owner of the San Diego football franchise decided to move the team to Los Angeles, leaving behind a stadium and a 190-acre parking lot in the heart of San Diego's Mission Valley, the mayor began secretly meeting with a group of out-of-town wealthy investors, like that's never happened before, who intended to bring a soccer team to San Diego. They quickly mobilized and got the support of the city council and put a ballot initiative together for what was called the Soccer City Development. Surprise, surprise, when the details were released, it was clear that the developers were going to make out like bandits and the taxpayers were getting screwed. Yes, I said screwed. A campaign to vote no was established. But the campaign team faced many challenges, including the fact that Soccer City had already secured 60% support, and many worried that the land would remain vacant. San Diego State University is a growing university of over 35,000 students, landlocked and needing land for expansion. There was a twist. State universities in California cannot campaign for initiatives. The campaign team spearheaded an effort to get a new initiative on the ballot in support of selling the land to San Diego State. So now there was a need for 2 campaigns. One to vote no on the Soccer City land grab, and another to say yes to SDSU. And you have wealthy developers spending over $20 million in one market to get their way. I am happy to say that the good guys won on Soccer City, a yes vote that began with a 60%, ended with 38%, a 62-38 win. And on the initiative for San Diego State, 56%. The real winners, the taxpayers of San Diego. San Diego State will break ground on a new campus in 2020 with space to become a world-class university. And the people of San Diego were given a choice who have their public land used the right way. For these victories and effort, the AAPC is pleased to award this year's Campaign Excellence Award to my very good friend, Tom Shepard.
Thank you, AAPC. This means so much to us. I'd like our team to come up. Arielle Garcia, CJ Meyer, Kendall Shane, Anthony Estolfi, Juan Hernandez, Chad Peace, all from IVC Media. Ruth Bernstein from EMC Research. Ondine Fortune. Yes. From Fortune Media. Amy Reminick from my office, John DeBello from Luma Media, and Melissa Cameron from Southwest Strategies. This was a 2-year labor of love to do what was right for the public and for the university. We overcame long odds and a lot of money, and it was only because we assembled this team to make it all happen. So again, thank you so much.
That's not going to work. So they let me back in the room this year. They've also got me on a very short leash. The FBI is outside. Fresh off the Mueller investigation, they're looking for a kill, so I got to be on my best behavior. All I have to say is, for those of you who are here 2 years ago, I told you we'd see your asses in 2018. So, to that end, I am here to present the award for Local Campaign Manager of the Year. It's actually a friend of mine, even though he happens to be from Oklahoma. Hook 'em horns. This person won a congressional race absolutely no one in the country thought was winnable. In 2016, the incumbent won by 20 points and Trump won by 13 points. But this manager pulled it off with a budget of only $1 million and absolutely no help from the national committees. I think we'd all agree that's something. I'm honored to present the AAPC Local Campaign Manager Award to the manager of the Kendra Horn for Oklahoma 5, Ward Curtin.
Would love to thank the organizers and staff for AAPC for having the foresight to put Liz and I up early in the program before Jack Daniels could take over. We had a full-time staff of 5, and between us all, we had about 50 campaigns worth of experience, and 49 of those were me. I'm not joking. So our campaign consultant team really had to come through and save the day. John Hagner with Clarity Campaigns did our polling. He was generous enough to provide us a document early on that showed our path to victory with a whopping 514 votes is what he had mapped out. We won by 2,700, so polling's done, guys. Sonia Van Meter with Stanford Campaigns, who we paid thousands of dollars to prove that Kendra Horn is one of the most boring people on the face of the earth. Here's an idea about how broke-ass we were. We paid a phone firm to do our email solicitation and program. So Tom Walton, Siobhan Marshall with Winning Connections, thank you guys so much. And Siobhan actually kind of roped these other people into the race, including Erica Prosser with Wildfire Contact, who yelled at me repeatedly and still does to this day. And then finally, almost finally, Kelly Gibson with Hamburger Gibson. So Kelly Gibson's email inbox is where my bad ideas go to die. And there were repeated communications from her that just said no. We think all of these guys, super talented, national talent, they took a chance on our race. Couldn't have done it without them. So the Democratic firms out there, if you stretch that goal a little bit. Republican firms, keep on making your conference call money and taking it easy. And we'll go from there. And then two more people that I have to thank. My girlfriend, her name is Sarah Riven. She's national fundraising talent, and there's some Annie's List people back there, I think. National fundraising talent. She got job offers in California and Florida and New York and fancy places, and she came to Oklahoma and turned out, with the help of our finance team, the biggest fundraising quarter a Democrat had ever had in Oklahoma. And then, again, I want to thank the AAPC. Like, my mom is over the moon because of you guys, so thank you so much.
Wow, following Liz and Ward. I'll let them get off the stage. But pay attention, this is the Republican Campaign Strategist of the Year. He started in politics in 2000 in the famous Bush-McCain South Carolina presidential primary. Thank you. You might recall, some of you old enough, that President Bush was famous for assigning nicknames to everyone. And this winner's nickname was called the Save My Bacon Boy. So, since then, he's had many substantial campaign victories. Here are a few. Jim DeMint, South Carolina. Norm Coleman, Minnesota. Marco Rubio, when he had a 3% recognition on his historic journey to the Senate. And this past year, in 2018, here's his list of winning campaigns. Ron DeSantis, Florida governor. Kay Ivey, Alabama governor. Kim Reynolds, Iowa governor. Pete Ricketts, Nebraska governor. And Marsha Blackburn, U.S. Senate, Tennessee. Now, what you might not know about this gentleman is that he runs marathons in every corner of the world, including Cyprus, which he just completed. He almost never attends a strategy meeting without wearing an orange jacket or orange sneakers to show his enduring affection and loyalty for his beloved Clemson. At any moment, he's ready to coach Clemson football or basketball. And he once left a Missouri governor meeting because he had to watch the end of a Clemson game. The reason he can't be with us tonight is that he's currently walking the Camino del Santiago in Spain on the Iberian Peninsula. So please give it up for Heath Thompson, partner at Something Else Strategy and winner of the Republican 2019 Strategist of the Year.
Heath Thompson's been involved in all of my campaigns in the last 10 years, and we were actually able to win 2 out of the 3, despite the fact that really all he does is talk about the Byzantine Empire and Clemson football. So 2 out of 3 races we won ain't bad, but you always wonder what it could have been.
Heath, Governor Brian Kemp, I want to thank you for all your help. I want to congratulate you for being the Political Strategist of the Year. I hope you realize, as a true conservative, this doesn't mean you can raise your rates on my re-elect. Again, congratulations.
Thank you. Hello, back of the room. Come on. Perk up. Okay, thank you. All right. So I am here to present, thank you, Democratic Strategist of the Year. This one was a hard choice given how well the Democrats did last year, but the person who we're giving this award to, the board really thought long and hard. And look, the Democratic Congressional Committee looked at the map of the United States last year, and they saw that there were 23 Clinton-held districts, meaning Republican incumbents in districts where Hillary had won, and they realized that's not enough to win the House. And so the DCCC made a big decision early to recruit broadly, and to target at first 40 seats, which eventually became more than 65 seats. They made a conscious decision to recruit people who they thought could withstand a difficult campaign, particularly veterans and women. And that really was spearheaded by one person at the D-Trip. Our award winner was the first minority to lead a major party committee, the DCCC. He created a massive targeting operation that was responsible for doing an incredible amount to help campaigns all across this country. I think that the work that they did was the foundation of the success that we were able to enjoy as Democrats in 2018. He can't be with us tonight because he used to work for Ben Ray Lujan, and so this week he is helping Ben Ray as he announces for Senate in New Mexico. Our strategist of the year is Dan Senna from the DCCC, and here's his video.
Heath Thompson's been involved in all of my.
Howdy, AAPC. I'm sorry I can't be there. We're standing up a Senate race this week, so it's just been a little bit of a crazy week. But big thank you. This is really, really cool. Very awesome award. Big hat tip to Jeff Pollock for the nomination. Thank you for that, Jeff. It really, really means a lot. And to Melman, who seconded. It just means a lot, gentlemen. Thank you very much. But the true thanks really goes to the amazing DCCC 2018 team. It was an extraordinary team. Chairman Lujan was terrific. I had an amazing team, amazing candidates, and the thanks really goes to them. So thank you very, very much.
All right, back of the room, respect please to our award winners. You think it's intimidating to be the campaign manager for a Senate race? Imagine being campaign manager for the CEO of the world's largest healthcare company, and in Florida. 2 languages, 10 media markets, even different time zones. Managing the race for the Republicans' most successful candidate in maybe the last 10 years is no easy task. Rick Scott has won 3 come-from-behind races by a point or less, and all 3 victorious races were ran by women campaign managers. That's something probably no other senator on either side of the aisle can boast. I'm honored tonight to honor a woman, period, but also a woman who gets shit done. In our industry, the best self-promoter is often the one highlighted, even if their work ethic is non-existent. But not tonight. Tonight, the spotlight is on one of the most tenacious, most dedicated women I've ever worked with. You've never seen a more organized campaign office, a more talented staff, a tighter budget, a better prepared candidate. Yes, she's a robot, like many of you say about her boss. But what makes Rick Scott successful, what makes his campaign manager successful, can't be measured by numbers on a poll or on a bottom line. It's their heart, their compassion, their drive to make this country exceptional. You are excellent at your job. We wouldn't have won this race without you. But your work ethic and your character is what has earned you this award. Please join me in congratulating and honoring one of the brightest rising stars in our industry today, Republican Campaign Manager of the Year, Jackie Schutz-Zeckman.
Hi, thank you so much for the award, and thank you, Joanna, for such kind words. Working for Rick Scott has been one of the most amazing experiences. Kind, humble, genuine, and a hard worker. It's just a blessing to get to run a campaign for someone who cares so much. I want to thank the amazing campaign staff. We couldn't have done it without 60 hardworking people across the state who gave up everything they could to make sure Rick Scott won. I want to thank the incredible team at On Message, Joanna Burgos, Kurt Anderson, Wes Anderson, Brad Todd, Alex Castellanos, who were an incredible part in making sure we got to victory. Finally, thank you to so many of you in the room who came down to help us to get through our recount. You either came or you sent people, and it meant the world to us. It's truly humbling to see all the people who are willing to come down and make sure we won. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Good evening. So I'm excited to be giving the Democratic Campaign Manager of the Year award to one of the nicest people that I've ever met in doing this crazy kind of a job. I first spoke with the recipient of Campaign Manager of the Year in 2009 when he was managing a House of Delegates race in Southside, Virginia, and I was a rookie direct mail consultant. And putting together schedules of photo shoots, I neglected to tell one campaign that they had a photo shoot in 6 days and then told them everything that they needed to do. And this manager responded with well, that's not a lot of time, dude. But he proceeded to knock it out of the park and get everything done. He went on to become a regional political director at the DCCC, where he was one of the better people to work with and did a fantastic job. Just recently, he managed one of the most competitive U.S. Senate races in the country and helped elect the first woman to the U.S. Senate from Arizona in the state's history, and also the first Democrat in the state's and elect the first Democrat in 30 years. So the recipient is not here tonight because he had already scheduled with his wife or his fiance to go look at wedding venues, and he of course kept that commitment because he's a generally good guy. But it is an honor to give Campaign Manager of the Year for a Democrat to Andrew Pyatt, and I wish you can all give him a round of applause.
Hey, it's Andrew. Thanks so much for this honor, and I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you this weekend. Right now I'm somewhere in West Texas looking at venues for a wedding, my wedding, which I've been told was far less probable than a Democrat winning the Senate race in Arizona, but here we are. This award is especially gratifying because it's from you, my colleagues. Both the board and the membership of the AAPA are made up of the professionals I admire, so it's really cool to be recognized by this group. I love this race mostly for its degree of difficulty. We didn't have a blueprint to work from, and it took the full team to build this plane while we flew it. It was an awesome team. It's why we won. Special shouts out to Lisa Grove, Molly Murphy, Jim Crounce, Rich Davis, David Dixon, and Annie Levine. Finally, it would be absurd to take credit for this without mentioning Senator Sinema. She's the hardest working candidate I've ever worked for, period. Again, thanks so much for this tremendous honor, and I hope you all have a great night.
Polling is a critical part of our profession. Now, of course, I refer to real polling, not the incompetent, half-baked horse race polling thrown up by media outlets to up their ad revenue. But I'm talking about authentic polling that analyzes data, focuses on campaigns and target groups. It's used to create a pathway for victory in the campaign. In recent cycles, it has become much harder because voters are avoiding answering calls because they're sitting in the back of a hall talking and not listening. They need to balance subgroups, and especially this last year, to capture a correct image of who is actually going to turn out on Election Day, a particular problem for Republicans. Our honoree this year earned the accolade of Republican Pollster of the Year because he got it right. He accurately modeled the composition and mood of the electorate in several critical races, notably Florida and Missouri. Florida was a particular challenge with surging turnout and the need to competently capture a diverse Spanish-speaking electorate. His polling and focus groups kept his client on an even keel when public polling was cheering the race was lost. Layer on top of that hurricanes, horrific school shootings, red tide on the beaches, a large relocated Puerto Rican voting community, just to name a few. Meanwhile, in Missouri, he was confronting the challenges of sifting through messages for the suburbs to get voters disaffected by President Trump. and also had voted for Claire McCaskill in several previous elections and getting them to vote Republican. He helped elect Rick Scott and Josh Hawley. Tonight, I'm pleased to give the Campaign Excellence Award for Pollster of the Year, a Republican, to Wes Anderson of On Message.
All right, thanks, Dan. So I have a very competitive older daughter, and years ago, she came to me and she needed an idea for a science fair. This was back in 5th grade, so it's been a while. And I thought about it, and I said, I've got an idea. We're going to do a statistical analysis of microwave popcorn. And I got into it. I started talking about it. I said, look, you know, we're going to have charts. We're going to do these tests. We're going to have different variables. And I could tell she was getting kind of frustrated with me. And finally, she stopped me and she said, Dad, statistics? I need real science. So listen, with that, it's real simple. I will thank first my wife and my daughters for their continued support, and they also keep me humble. I will thank my partners at On Message and the entire team at On Message, which I will say, without any humility, is the best team in politics today. And I also want to thank, there's too many candidates for me to thank, but I just thank 3 that put their trust in me, who I would say are more than clients, are good friends: Bobby Jindal, Rick Scott, and Josh Hawley. And finally, I thank God every day that I live in a country where my profession is legal, profitable, and consequential. Well, usually consequential, but I'll take 2 out of 3. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Hey, assholes in the back, we're almost done. Promise. Okay. There we go. And I promise you, the filet will not get better. So just trust me. Pay attention, okay? All right. So we are at the conclusion. We're talking about Pollster of the Year. Democrat, Pollster of the Year. Pollster of the Year, pollsters have a hard job. There are no awards for best crosstab, I promise you. There's no award for best top line. It doesn't exist. So this is it, the highlight of the year. And this year was a challenge because there was so much good work done on the Democratic side, but one firm stood out in particular. 2018 Big Map. We've already talked about the Arizona Senate race. Scott already talked a little bit about it, but you know, Arizona's a Republican state. Scott mentioned no Democrat's been elected to the Senate in 30 years. The Kyrsten Sinema, the Democrat, was running against who we thought was kind of the perfect Republican in Martha McSally. There was self-research on Sinema that showed a lot of vulnerabilities. Maybe some of you have seen Senator Sinema in a pink tutu, for example. And so they knew that it was going to be really hard. But I saw a campaign that stayed on message from beginning to end. It was really impressive. I had the opportunity to be on the soft side, watching my colleagues on the hard side help Congresswoman Sinema. They showed her to be an independent candidate. They focused on health care. They then focused on McSally and things that she had said that were problematic. I'm very proud to award this to 2 stellar Democratic women and a fantastic firm. These are my colleagues who are just amazing pollsters. They're my competitors and co-conspirators. I want to congratulate 2 women in particular here, Molly Murphy, who is here, and Lisa Grove from ALG Research for this win in Arizona and many others. I have one more thing for you. So Lisa Grove, Molly's partner, is from Hawaii and lives in Hawaii, and she sent this lei for Molly to wear. So,
all right.
Congratulations.
All you. Thank you. Well, I was going to start with an inappropriate joke, but I just got laid, so I guess I don't have to. So I've learned one thing in being a pollster, and it is that pollsters, people only want to hear pollsters tell them how they are going to win. They don't need to hear their pollster talk about their own win. So I will be very brief for everybody in the back. In all seriousness, this is a hugely tremendous honor, and on behalf of Lisa as well as myself, I want to thank the judges and everyone in this room for this distinction. Being part of the Sinema campaign team was one of the most strategically challenging but rewarding experiences of my career, and Lisa's as well. So this recognition just means that much more. Really, the only people I really want to thank in all of this, of course, the Sinema team entirely. It was a collaborative effort. Folks who were on the soft side, helping us lift up the message, all of those things. But really, this is an award on behalf of our entire firm, and particularly the people behind the scenes in polling that none of you ever talk to or hear from because they are dealing with our phone banks. They are running our numbers. They are sort of doing the thankless effort. They're making sure our phone bank callers pronounce both Kirsten and Sinema correctly at the same time, which is very difficult in and of itself. So I want to thank them most importantly for all of this. And no matter how hard it gets, stick your chest out, keep your head up, and handle it. Thank you very much.